So, you've seen the Eiffel Tower, you've walked the Champs-Élysées, but have you really seen France? You've probably dreamed of those cobblestone streets, the charming cafes, and that sense of history hanging in the air. But let's be honest, a trip to Paris can often mean endless lines, shoulder-to-shoulder crowds, and the feeling you're just one of millions of tourists doing the exact same thing. You're left wondering, is this it? Has the soul of France been buried under its own popularity? Well, what if I told you the true heart of France isn't hiding in the crowded streets of its capital? What if you could trade the long lines for quiet, winding lanes and the tourist traps for genuine, unforgettable moments? We're leaving Paris in the rear view to explore 5 incredible French cities that most visitors fly right over. These are the places that offer all the magic without the madness, the beauty without the burnout. Get ready to see a side of France you didn't know you were missing. First up, we're heading north to a city that's a true hidden gem, a place of surprising beauty and creativity. Amiens. Often overlooked, Amiens is a peaceful and charming escape with a personality all its own. The first thing you'll notice here, and it's impossible to miss, is the Cathedral Notre-Dame d'Amiens. This isn't just any church. It's the largest Gothic cathedral in all of France, a UNESCO World Heritage site that is simply staggering. Its soaring arches and massive interior make you feel tiny in the best way possible, inspiring a sense of awe that's hard to find in more famous crowded landmarks. But the real secret of Amiens, the thing that truly sets it apart, is its floating gardens. The city is home to the Hortianages, a 300-hectare network of gardens and canals that have been cultivated since the Middle Ages. Picture yourself gliding in a traditional flat-bottomed boat through a maze of lush green islands with flowers blooming at the water's edge and tiny bridges connecting little plots of land. This isn't just a tourist ride, it's a living tradition carried on by local gardeners for centuries. It's a moment of pure, unexpected tranquility right in the middle of the city. Amiens also has a special claim in the literary world. It was the adopted home of the visionary author Jules Verne, who wrote more than 30 of his famous novels here. You can visit his beautifully preserved 19th century home, the Maison Jules Verne, and literally step into his imaginative world. It's a 4-story mansion filled with his personal artifacts and exhibits that bring his fantastic stories to life. Between its giant cathedral, enchanting gardens, and rich literary history, Amiens delivers a layered, authentic experience that feels a world away from the Parisian hustle. Next, we're journeying east to a city so gracefully off the beaten path, some have called it the city that tourism forgot. Welcome to Besançon, a place where history feels alive, nestled securely in a loop of the Doubs River. The city's skyline is owned by one formidable feature, the citadel de Besançon. Now, this is no ordinary castle. It's a 17th century military masterpiece designed by Vauban, Louis XIV's legendary engineer, and it's a UNESCO World Heritage site. Perched more than 100 meters above the old town, the citadel's ramparts offer absolutely spectacular panoramic views of the city and the river snaking around it. But the citadel is so much more than a fortress. Inside its walls, it holds 3 different museums. A natural history museum complete with a zoo and aquarium, a museum on the region's traditions, and the deeply moving Museum of the Resistance and Deportation. It's the kind of place you can spend an entire day getting lost in culture, history, and nature, all without feeling rushed. Down below the old town, known as La Boucle because of the river's loop, is a beautifully preserved historic quarter. You can wander through charming streets, stumble upon quiet squares, and just admire the architecture without fighting through crowds. The city also has a proud watchmaking history, a craft you can explore at the Musée du Temps, the Museum of Time, housed in the gorgeous Granvelle Palace. Besançon doesn't shout for attention. It's a city that quietly rewards those who take the time to explore it, making you feel less like a tourist and more like a guest who's been let in on one of France's best-kept secrets. For our third stop, we're heading way down south to the sun-drenched Mediterranean coast, where France gets a dose of Catalan spirit. Forget the packed beaches of the French Riviera and say hello to Collioure, the Catalan pearl of the Mediterranean. This little fishing village is a straight-up feast for the eyes. Picture a small harbor with traditional fishing boats framed by a medieval castle on one side and a landmark church bell tower on the other. Behind it all, a cascade of colorful pink, ochre, and terracotta buildings climb up the hillside, all soaking in a unique hazy sunlight that has hooked artists for over a century. And that's Collioure's real claim to fame, its role in art history. In the summer of 1905, Henri Matisse and André Derain came to this village and, blown away by the intense colors and light, they started a revolution. They used bold, wild colors to paint the feeling of the landscape, not just what they saw. In doing so, they gave birth to an art movement called Fauvism and changed painting forever. Today, you can walk right in their footsteps on the Fauvism Trail. All around town, you'll find reproductions of their paintings set up in the exact spots where they worked. You can look at Matisse's painting of a window and then turn around and see the very same view. It's an incredibly cool and inspiring way to connect with the art and the place that sparked it. Beyond its artistic soul, Collioure is just a great place to be. You can wander the old streets, explore the royal castle, or hike into the hills for stunning coastal views. The vibe is far more laid back than the ritzy Riviera cities. It's a storybook world where art, history, and seaside charm all come together. Loving these hidden gems, if you're dreaming of your own French adventure that goes beyond the obvious, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. We've got so many more places to share, and you're not going to want to miss what's next. All right, let's head over to the Occitanie region in the southwest to a city that will stop you in your tracks with its powerful and unique look. This is Albi, also known as La Ville Rouge, the Red City. Albi gets its name from its incredible architecture, built almost entirely from a local red brick that seems to glow with a warm golden light at sunset. It gives the city a look and feel that's completely different from any other French city. The heart and soul of Albi is the Cathedral Sainte-Cécile. This isn't just a church, it's a fortress of faith and the largest brick cathedral in the world. Started in 1282 after a brutal crusade, its outside is massive and imposing, a symbol of the church's power. But the moment you step inside, the contrast is breathtaking. The interior is covered in the largest collection of Italian Renaissance paintings in France, with a ceiling painted in a sea of brilliant blue and gold. Right next door is another architectural beast, the Palais de la Barbie. This former bishop's palace, also made of red brick, now hosts the Toulouse-Lautrec Museum. Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec, the famous painter of Paris nightlife, was born in Albi, and this museum holds the world's largest public collection of his work. It's a fascinating look at a one-of-a-kind artist in a truly magnificent setting. The whole area is a UNESCO World Heritage site, but Albi feels like a real living city, not a museum piece. You can get lost in the narrow medieval streets, walk across one of France's oldest bridges for that perfect riverside photo, and just soak it all in. Albi is a chance to step into a version of France that many visitors miss entirely. For our last stop, we're landing in a city that perfectly blends two cultures, Strasbourg. Sitting right on the German border, Strasbourg is proudly French, but it has a distinct Alsatian character that makes it completely unique. The city's historic heart is the Grande Ile, an entire island designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And inside it, you'll find the Fairytale district of La Petite France. This is the storybook image of Alsace you've been dreaming of. Winding cobblestone streets, canals crisscrossing the neighborhood, and perfectly preserved half-timbered houses with colorful flower boxes in every window. It's easily one of the most picturesque and romantic spots in all of France. Looming over it all is the magnificent Cathedral Notre-Dame de Strasbourg, a masterpiece of Gothic architecture with a single soaring spire. For hundreds of years, it was the tallest building in the Christian world, and its astronomical clock is an incredible work of Renaissance engineering that still puts on a daily show. But Strasbourg isn't just stuck in the past. It's a lively, modern city that hosts major European institutions. It strikes this perfect balance between its rich history and a forward-looking energy. It has a more relaxed pace than Paris and is incredibly easy to explore on foot or by tram, but it's still packed with world-class museums, amazing food, and a great atmosphere. Strasbourg gives you the grandeur of a historic European capital with the charm of a cozy, welcoming town. It's the perfect end to our trip, proving that France's greatest treasures are found far beyond its capital. From the floating gardens of Amiens to the sun-kissed streets of Collioure, from Albi's red brick fortress to the fairy-tale canals of Strasbourg, we've just explored a completely different side of France. A France that's authentic, preserved, and just waiting to be discovered. These cities prove that to find the real magic of this country, you just have to be willing to look beyond the obvious. They offer a chance to slow down, connect with history on your own terms, and make memories that aren't being shared with a million other people. So next time you're planning that trip, maybe you should forget Paris. The true heart of France is beating strong in these incredible cities. Which of these cities are you adding to your list, or have you already been to one of these gems? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing your stories, and for more travel ideas that take you off the beaten path, make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next adventure.